All right, folks. Thank you so much for watching that break. We are going into game number 2, and you got back just in time for it to start as well. Spawning here in the bottom right corner of the map, he took a very nice game number 1. Patience says he's too strong. It's going to be the red Terran player, Byun.
In the top left as the pink Protoss, it is Dead Pixel's Patience.
Ooh, bit of smack talk. Not exactly the raunchiest of words, but, you know, a little bit of a slap to Patience.
Well...
Central Protocol. Oh, sorry, go on.
Byun did start off that last game with a proxy Reaper that really didn't do any damage at all. This map, not so great for that exact same build. Orb Shipyard really is the Reaper map. But it was some nice early game, I guess, aggression that got him a little bit of control. And despite that mid game not being so hot, he got to the late game. And the late game Terran seems to be just better right now versus Protoss.
I kind of feel like... I don't want to disagree with what you've just said, but at the same time, it's kind of like... I feel this way so much for most of StarCraft, right? And this is more evident through like bad players than good players, but it doesn't really matter what the race is. It's about what you can do with that race. If that makes sense, I guess. I mean, you watch someone like Byun play the late game, it's going to look a lot different than someone like me playing the late game of whatever matchup it is.
Yes, that's true. I think everyone would agree with that. But throughout what we've seen in TvP late game, if it gets there, Liberators seem to be something that just throw Protoss off. They can kind of deal with everything they used to in Heart of the Swarm. So Vikings and Ghosts. But the Liberator adds it just a little bit extra.
So what do you think when it comes to compositions? I mean, obviously everyone wants to have everything available to them. But I kind of feel like if Storm's going to be coming out a little bit quicker, you know, a lot of those drops wouldn't have been as problematic. Maybe we would have had more feedbacks on medevacs. I mean, do you think just rushing out Storm's going to be the way to go? Do you think, you know, okay, we sent no Liberators. That was another big issue. I mean, put yourself in Patience's shoes. What's the solution to not getting wrecked?
Well, once his Colossus got hard counter like they did with like 16, 18 Vikings or whatever, in Heart of the Swarm we would see a lot of, you know, tech swaps. So Shuri also had a lot of ghosts, so you can't go completely into Archon. But you mentioned, like, you know, bringing out the Blink Stalkers again, and they wouldn't have been that bad in mass versus what Byun had. And instead, Patience had to stick on his own that army composition, mostly because he just don't have that much of a bank in Legacy of the Void. It's one of the problems right now for Protoss, who in the end game do still rely on, well, mostly that Death Ball. We have seen people try just do mass Blink Stalkers or Disruptor in all matchups, basically, but even that one doesn't really hold up towards the late game.
As you guys have seen a couple times here as these Reapers have passed by it, there are back rocks to the main on this map, a little bit of a nuisance. I like Patience's opener, though. Like, okay, it was questionable for Storms or whatever, but again, we're going with Resonating Glaives. Warp Prism probably to follow suit and do some nice harass. Before this game gets too far underway, though, I do want to address some of the questions coming in chat about MATCHERINO. Some people saying, you know, what's the $1? Is this shady, etc.? It's worth noting we've done 2 show matches with them at this point, or pardon me, 2 show match days with them, like 6 or 8 show matches in total. Players have always been paid in full. These guys have a marketing budget. They want to just simply get the name of their website out there. It's a new feature. It's really cool. When you do this and you set it up randomly and not do it through a show match like what we're doing, MATCHERINO does take about 15% off the top as their sort of payment for helping organize and host the crowdfunding, which sounds like a lot, but really it's about the same Kickstarter or Indiegogo or any other website will do. So it's kind of they're the intermediary. They want people to start using them, set up matches between favorite streamers, not just StarCraft 2. And a big part of it was, hey, if we give players some money, I've got no problem with it. As long as the players are actually getting the money, I don't care how or why they want to spend that money. MATCHERINO, that is. So they've been quite generous, $250 per show match at the very minimum. Like I said, the idea is that we want to be able to crowdfund way more than that, but they're going to give $250 no matter what.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. So make sure you guys get in there and get on it. Because the best part is really, it doesn't ask you for personal information. You don't have to sign up with your email. You're not going to get spammed. Just simply be logged into Twitch, use the code, and you'll get $1 to the players on their behalf. Well, on your behalf from them. Depths do come here to the main. Big warp. Ooh, that's actually our natural base. God, I hate the way these maps are designed. But mine's going to get a decent shot off, but it's still about 7 Adepts going to be just driving SCVs off this base. And unfortunately, one of the craziest things is the way Resonating Glaives works is it makes them even better against non-light units, so like buildings, like depots, like everything, really.
There's a mass repair in the SCVs, interesting. Does send him back to mining, but there's DTs. Yeah, patients who did go for that Dark Shrine back at home. Instantly scanned, though, and taken out. Byun with the eagle eyes, I suppose. Can't take care of the warp prism, though, so this is going to go in favor of patience, I feel. He just needs to warp in more depths.
Yeah, another scan comes down. Liberator quickly runs away. Almost into the Widow Mine! Into the Widow Mine! Oh. Patience has used way so much army for this, but he gets so much workers for it. 22 SCVs dead. 1 DT manages to sneak back in. It's gonna chip away, and this is I don't know, this is about as Protoss as it gets, I feel.
Yeah, it does a lot of damage. I mean, it would have done a lot more if Patience had any more luck on his side, but it still did its job for sure. DT will finally go down on the Liberator. The missile turret died too.
Already got value for it, though. I mean, really.
Down to 26 workers. I mean, his army also took a hit, which is the worst parts. You know, a lot of Marines went down. But the army is still good enough that a counterattack would be scary.
No, Warp Prism rip. Oh, it picked up the DT too, that's the worst part. If the DT had stayed on the ground, it would have been fine.
It's 30 SCVs killed. Byun has to go Super Saiyan mode with drops, basically. Or just run across the map and hope there isn't an army. But unfortunately with Militia Corps, there's always some type of army. A pylon army.
Pylons are placed down actually really nicely to make sure we're able to zone out these Liberators. It's going to be Blink coming up next. Again, Liberators cannot shoot buildings, so it won't be too big of a problem. Ooh, this one's just barely out of range, unfortunately. It's going to take a couple of Stalkers to walk in, but they can just kind of sit by the Cyber Core. Again, I just want to stress, though, it's not just that Byun got a little bit ahead through this attack. Oh, there's the overcharge. Or not Byun, excuse me, Patience got a little bit ahead of this attack, but that income graph, once again, is a differential graph, guys. So it's not that Patience has got 700 minerals coming for him per minute. It's that he's got 700 more per minute than his opponent. That's the consequence. And ooh, that's really cool. What's that lightning? Purifier themed coolness. We are going to see disruptors this game as well. These are coming out next.
Alright, so these have, like, same thing as a Widow Mine, except you can control them a little more, I guess. You can technically control a Widow Mine, but people rarely do. But basically, you can get a big hit or you can get a really small hit. You can shoot yourself on accidents. Seen that happen a couple of times. A little scarier to use than the Colossus, which are guaranteed damage, even if their damage was nerfed by 20%. There's the army of Byun moving out. He does still have an army lead, despite losing all the Marines to that harassment. No medevacs, though, yet, and that's where the Liberator was kind of like, was it worth it to get 2 of them?
Rifkin's trademark nice. Great observing. Just barely missed some of those Widow Mine shots going off, but splits from Patience,
Liberator.
Not bad. Yeah, the Liberator's getting the big kills, though. It wasn't those Widow Mines, guys. It was the Liberator over here. Oh, army gonna come in. Disruptor not be able to get its shot off. It's gonna get focused down.
So this could be game unless the mothership could get it's game.
Oh man. We missed the sub shout out by the way. I'm sorry. Things get crazy with the Warp Prism and whatnot, but Deathalicious, brand new sub to the channel. Thank you so much for that subscription.